The tricorn or tricorn is a style of hat that was popular during the 18th century, falling out of style by 1800, though actually not called a tricorn until the mid-1800s. During the 18th century, hats of this general style were referred to as cocked hats. At the peak of its popularity, the cocked hat varied greatly in style and size, and was worn not only by the aristocracy, but also as common civilian dress, and as part of military and naval uniforms. Typically made from animal fiber, the more expensive being of beaver-hair felt and the less expensive of wool felt, their hat's most distinguishing characteristic was that three sides of the brim were turned up and either pinned, laced or buttoned in place to form a triangle around the crown. The style served two purposes. First, it allowed stylish gentlemen to show off the most current fashions of their wigs, and thus their social status. And secondly, the cocked hat, with its folded brim, was much smaller than other hats and therefore could be more easily tucked under an arm when going inside a building, where social etiquette dictated that a gentleman remove his hat. Cocked hats with laced sides could have the laces loosened and the sides dropped down to provide better protection from the weather, sun and rain. Tricorns had a rather broad brim, pinned up on either side of the head and at the back, producing a triangular shape. The hat was typically worn with the point facing forward, though it was not at all unusual for soldiers, who would often rest a rifle or musket on their left shoulder, to wear the tricorn pointed above their left eyebrow to allow better clearance. The crown is low, unlike the steeple hats worn by the Puritans or the top hat of the 19th century. Tricorns ranged from the very simple and cheap to the extravagant, occasionally incorporating gold or silver lace trimming and feathers. In addition, military and naval versions usually bore a cockade or other national emblem at the front. History: the tricorn appeared as a result of the evolution of the broad brim round hat used by Spanish soldiers in Flanders during the 17th century. By pledging the brims, a triangular shape was obtained. This shape was favored by Spanish soldiers, and in 1667, war broke out between France and Spain in the Spanish Netherlands. During the subsequent military struggle, its use spread to the French armies. The style was brought back to France, where its usage spread to the French population and the royal court of King Louis XIV, who made it fashionable throughout Europe, both as a civilian and military wear. By the end of the 17th century, the tricorn was popular in both civilian fashion and in military uniforms. They remained one of the predominant European styles of hat throughout the 18th century. In the United States, only the first 5 presidents, from George Washington to James Monroe, wore this style of hat according to the fashion of the 18th century. James Monroe earned the nickname the last cocked hat, because of this. The tricorn quickly declined in use at the end of the 18th century. It evolved into the bicorn, which was widely used by military officers in Europe from the 1790s until World War I, not completely fading out of style until World War II. For enlisted soldiers, the tricorn was replaced by the shako at the turn of the 19th century, which had become the new dominant style of military headgear from 1800 on. As the fashionable hat for civilian men, the tricorn was overtaken by the top hat. Modern usage and legacy. Tricorns survive today as part of the traditional dress of the Chelsea pensioners in the Old Guard fife and drum corps of the United States Army, and the distinctive hat of the Guardia Civil, called a tricornio in Spanish, originates from the tricorn. In the UK, a black feathered tricorn hat is part of the ceremonial dress of most Lord Mayors. At the annual Lord Mayor's show in November, the newly elected Lord Mayor of the City of London can usually be seen enthusiastically waving his tricorn at the crowds. In the British Parliament until recently, both the Lord Chancellor and the Speaker of the House of Commons used to carry plain black tricorns as part of their formal dress each day when on duty. Only on rare occasions was it worn, by the Lord Chancellor when acting as a Lord Commissioner of the Sovereign, and by the Speaker when rebuking a member at the bar of the House. In the United States, the tricorn is associated with the American Revolution and American patriots of that era, especially Minutemen. Participants in reenactment events often don tricorns, and they also can be seen in sports culture as worn by fans of teams with revolutionary names, such as the New England Patriots, the New England Revolution, the United States men's national soccer team, the University of Massachusetts Amherst, and the George Washington University. The Tea Party movement uses the tricorn as an icon to associate itself with the American Revolution. In France, synagogue officiants wear the tricorn on formal occasions. In the French Navy and Air Force, tricorns are still worn by women as a piece of uniform. The tricorn is a key feature in the University of Minho's academic dress, in Portugal. Its origins are as far as 18th century, as being the academic dress of Cola copyright Gio de Estudos Superiores de Paulo, as depicted by tile panels in the Archbishop's Palace of Braga. Designated by Tricorcubed RNIO, this academic dress was redesigned and officially set 1989. In 1981 the milliner John Boyd made the famous pink tricorn hat for Diana, Princess of Wales. This style became known as the Lady D design and was copied worldwide. Gallery. See also, List of hats and headgear, bicorn. References, Gentlemen of Fortune, 1, 2, Hats from the Past till the Present and Their Production, Castells, Albert. Los Tercios Viejos y la Presencia Espar plus or minus Ola en Flans, Espasa, Madrid, 1997, Digital History, Stephen Mintz. Digital History. digitalhistory.uh.edu. Retrieved April 20, 2010. Real Life at the White House, 200. A Google NIE. Books Google CZ. Retrieved April 20, 2010. Robert S. Summer. James Monroe. Presidents of the United States. Retrieved October 28, 2014. Cocked Hat Infoplease.com, The Royal Hospital Chelsea, Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps, Lord Mayor's Show, American Headgear of the Revolutionary War, New England Patriots, New England Revolution, University of Massachusetts Amherst Official Athletic Site, 3.